Alright, welcome guys to your 38th tutorial, and this tutorial is gonna be about deconstructor. Now what the deconstructor is, remember whenever you create a class, let's say you create an apple class and then you write some statements here, and then here if you create an apple object, you just create an apple object, and now you do some of the tasks with help of this object, like calling some member function of that class, or abstracting some data from that class, some values. And what do you do at the end of your program? What C++ does is it destroys all the objects you make and it frees up the memory, because your memory is precious, and whenever you exit the program you don't need those objects anymore. So C++ destroys that object. Now whenever C++ destroys those objects, or whenever your program reaches towards the end, then the deconstructor is called. Now I'll just show you right now what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's just hop over to public section, and in the public let's build a constructor. And you know how to build a constructor, you can just build like a function, and let's just print out this is the constructor speaking, and make sure you spell it wrong. Alright, so now we have a constructor that just prints out this is the constructor speaking. Now to create a deconstructor, what you do is you create it same as the constructor, but at the very beginning, before writing your class name, you enter a tilde sign. Now I think it's called that, but you just enter that sign that's on the left side of 1 on your keyboard, and just enter that sign, and this represents that this is a deconstructor. Right, you just make it as a constructor, but you just enter that tilde sign here. Now you can do anything inside constructor, but what usually people do is they destroy the object, or they just print out some exiting message like visit again, or whatever the heck it is. This is performed it. So I just type out here, this is the deconstructor speaking. Alright, and just end that line, and now we have a constructor and a deconstructor in our class. So let's just say here are a few things to note down about a deconstructor. Now as we saw in the earlier tutorials, we can have multiple constructor inside a class. Alright, we can overload the constructor with multiple parameters, different parameters, and we can perform different jobs. But a deconstructor is always one, and you can't have multiple deconstructors in your program. It's always only one for a class. One more thing to note down is you cannot overload deconstructor. Alright, you're just gotta have one deconstructor, and you never pass any arguments to deconstructor. Alright, you can never pass any arguments to deconstructor. It doesn't contain any argument, and it just contains some definition in which you could do whatever you want, but you cannot pass any arguments in constructor, and it's just one for a single class. So now let's just we just created an apple object, so let's just build on this, and hopefully it will run correctly. And here it is. So now alright, so now we can see this is the constructor speaking, and this is the deconstructor speaking. Actually I spelled it wrong. His is the constructor speaking, that's a nice word. Alright, so this is just it. I mean, when you created the object, it spelled out this, and when the object got destroyed, it spelled out this. But it's pretty confusing because we didn't add any statement writing here. So let's just, after we create object, let's just print out object has been created, and just end it line. Now when you create the object, and then it will call out the constructor, then it will execute this statement, this cout statement, and then when it approaches towards the end, then the deconstructor gets called. Alright, so now if you build on this, it says this is the constructor speaking, object has been created. So first it creates the object and then the constructor gets called. So this is the constructor speaking, then it prints out object has been created, and then when the program ends it calls the deconstructor and it says this is the deconstructor speaking. So this was pretty much very simple, and this was it for this tutorial guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.